Hello. So in this week-ish reading vlog that we're doing, I'm going to be trying to reread the Demonata series by Darren Shan. These are all 10 of them from the Demonata series. I originally read this when I reckon I was like 13 or 14. And I've never read them since, but I still own them. But I don't feel like I can class them as being read because I don't remember them well enough to, you know, talk about them, discuss them, even give you the plot of a lot of them. I don't remember them well enough. They're all quite short. I believe that these, when I purchased them, they were in the teen section. That's no longer an age category in buying books. So I would call these kind of like older, middle grade, younger YA, somewhere in there. Do you know, I read them when I was 13, 14. I feel like that was a really decent age to read them at, so that's kind of what I'd say. I think these are in the right order, but I'm not 100% sure. I know the first one is definitely Lord Lost and the last one is definitely Hell's Heroes. Well, they're definitely not going to be in the right order now, are they? So the books we're going to be reading this week are Book 1, Lord Lost. Book 2, Demon Thief. Book 3, Slawter. I remember really enjoying this one. Book 4, Beck. Book 5, Blood Beast. Book 6, Demon Apocalypse. Book 7, Death's Shadow. Book 8, Wolf Island. Book 9, Dark Calling. And last but not least, Book 10, Hell's Heroes. So those are the books, those are the order I'm reading them in. And yeah, that is the basic plan. Do some, but yeah, basically I'm just going to read, vlog it all. I don't know how much detail I'll go into in the books. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure book 1 we follow one person, book 2 we follow another person, and then I think book 3 is when like these stories start merging. Book 1 we're going to read Lord Lost, and on the back of this one it says, "The door feels red hot as though a fire is burning behind it. I press an ear to the wood, but there's no crackle, no smoke, just deep, heavy breathing and a curious dripping sound. My hand's on the doorknob. Inside the room somebody giggles, low, throaty, sadistic. There's a ripping sound followed by snaps and crunches. My hand turns, the door opens, hell is revealed. When Grubbs Grady first encounters Lord Lost and his evil minions, he learns 3 things. The world is vicious, magic is possible, demons are real. He thinks that he will never again witness such a terrible night of death and darkness. He is wrong." So yeah, that's what we're going to start with. Start reading. Hopefully we will have a good time. Okay, update time. I'm still reading book 1. I'm really not getting very far with this. I am enjoying it, but I'm just not eager to pick it up. I don't know what's going on with my reading at the moment. I don't think that's reflective of the book at all. I think I'm just in a weird reading mood. But I will say I forgot how much chess plays into this book. Like, that was just an element that I'd completely forgot about. And like, there are chess pieces on the front, it shouldn't be that surprising, but I just really forgot about it. And not just chess, but also like being good at chess but not the best at chess. Yeah, I don't know, it was a component I forgot about. I'm enjoying it so far. I need to find some time to sit down and just read it, because I think once I am reading it I'm quite enjoying it. I'm just not giving myself the time, but yeah. Okay, so I finished book 1 of the Demonata, which was Lord Lost. I'm giving it 3.5 stars. I did really enjoy it. Rereading it, I definitely understand why it was like a favourite when I was younger. It was fun, it was quick, and it was just really nice and easy to read, and the way in which things got resolved were very nice. Like, I can see that like child Heather would have enjoyed that and like found that really cool and interesting. So yeah, 3.5 stars. Definitely think, you know, it probably would have been 5 stars like when I originally read it. I still think it holds up. I just think I'm older now and I've read better, but like still really enjoyed it, still really had a great time. I'm probably not going to read book 2 straight away, but I have got book 2 here. This is Demon Thief, so I'll read the back of it now, so when we get on to like actually picking it up to read it, we'll already have the synopsis. So on the back of book 2, which is called Demon Thief, it says, "A huge jagged patch of light forms at the foot of my bed. Then a shape presses through. I'm too horrified to scream. It's a monster from my very worst nightmare. Pale red skin, dark red eyes, no nose, sharp grey teeth. As it leans further forward, I see a hole in the left side of its chest, and inside dozens of tiny, hissing snakes. The monster frowns and shrieks, a hand towards me. When Colonel Fleck's brother is stolen by demons, he must enter their universe in search of him. It is a place of magic, chaos, and incredible danger. Colonel has 3 aims: learn to use magic, find his brother, stay alive. But a heartless demon awaits him, and death has been foretold. Yeah, sounds good. I really do remember this one. I think this storyline, I don't know how many of the books it's in, but like where the lights are a big part of it, where these like patches of like forming lights, that is really like distinctive in my head. I can really remember like staying up late and reading that, so I assume it's this one, unless it's in like considerable amount of the others that I've got like a really good memory of. But yeah, I'm excited to read it when I get around to it. Okay, hello, long time no see, but I am now 51 pages into the second book of the Demonata series. I'm also joined by this little boy who really wants to be a part of this update, don't you? Oh my goodness. Mwah. But yeah, I am 51 pages into Demon Thief. The opening chapter of this one I remembered so well. Like the opening chapter was so fresh and ingrained in my brain, and like I really don't know how. But then after that it got weird, like I don't remember like the last few chapters, and then the chapter I've got to, which I think is like chapter 4 or 5, but like the chapters aren't numbered, so you can just see it's called Kidnap. Like I can't actually see what number chapter it is. I think we're gonna go back into like the demony realms, and like that's the part of this book that I really remember, which like chapter 1, like, and the descriptions of the lights and how he like plays with the lights, like this is the one that I think I must have read, I'm gonna say the most, but like it could have just been like I reread this one, I don't really know. But yeah, really enjoying it so far. I'm not really enjoying the fact that there's a kid, but like this baby that there is there, this art, it hasn't been revealed in the book yet, and in case like, you know, you're watching this and you're reading along, maybe, I don't know, I'm not going to say it right now basically until it's actually revealed in the book, but I can remember what's going on with this kid, and maybe not everything is as it seems. So yeah, I don't remember picking up the first time round all of the hints that the parents dropped around that, whereas this time round, and I've been listening to it, I've been like, oh, it's a bit more obvious than I thought it was. But yeah, still having a really good time with it, really enjoying it, and I'm probably going to read a big chunk tonight, to be honest. So if I remember to pick up the camera and check in and give you my thoughts and feelings, I will, but if not, I'll just check in end of the night, start of the morning sort of time. But yeah, we are back on reading this series now, getting through it, and I'm really having a great time. Okay, so I am just over halfway through of this book. I am on page 142, which is The Reluctant Disciple. I just wanted to check in and just say, I think from now on these are going to have to be pretty spoiler filled. Obviously I know I've been like chatting quite casually about them, but the point I've got to is now a point in this book where things from book 1 will like come up. So yeah, if you haven't read them and you don't want to be spoiled, I feel like this is a point where like you definitely shouldn't continue watching. But yeah, let's continue on. So basically I forgot that in this book we met up with Dervish. I didn't think that had happened till like later books, but yeah, Colonel and Dervish have met, and those two and also a guy called Shark are gonna go back into the demon realm to try and like find the people that he left in there. Yeah, and obviously like once he's found them he should be able to find Art as well. It's easy reading, it's casual. Like, honestly, it's taken me a while. Like, it's probably been a couple of days since I last checked in. It is taking me a while and I'm not prioritising it very well. I do need to prioritise it, and therefore I'm going to try and read them all by the end of next week. It's currently Friday now. So I think by next Friday I would like to have read all of these, and I'm kind of going to not allow any other books to like slide in and let me read them in between. I'm going to try and just you know, read these and make them a priority, because I think that's what I need to do to get through them quicker, is just make them the priority. Oh, and also what's really interesting about this one is up until this point where we've met up with Dervish, you know, there's no reason to think it's not just continuing on from the last one, just a different perspective, but Dervish is younger in this, which means this one happened before the first one. But like, how much before? Because Dervish is more seen as like, you know, I don't think an age is given, but probably like 20s. Whereas in the first book, Lord Lost, I think he's in like his 40s or 50s, something like that. This is like probably 20 years before the book we just read. But like, it's not really like seen as that. Like, obviously it is because we know the character. But I don't know, I just feel like it's going to come together really well. And like, I don't remember how the different timelines come together, but I assume they must at some point, so yeah. Okay, so I finished this one. I'm going to give it 3 stars. I did really enjoy it, and I really enjoyed the world building and like the scope of it, how much we got to see, how much we got to explore, but I didn't ever truly care about the characters. I never really got invested in the characters and their backstory. The only time it got interesting in terms of characters was when I started to see characters from previous series, and then I was like starting to vibe a bit more with them. I'm intrigued enough that like when these characters presumably show up in future books, I'm sure it'll be interesting, I'll be excited about it, but it just wasn't more than 3 stars for me. So that is Demon Thief by Darren Shan. So I am next going to be picking up Slawter. This is book 3 of the Demonata. If you can hear weird noise in the background, Jay's currently cooking our tea, so just, yeah, if you can hear it, that's what it is. But yeah, this is Slawter, this is book 3, and this is going back to the same timeline as book 1, I believe. So, on the back of here, it says, never trust fairy tales. There are no happy endings. There's always something new around the corner. You can overcome major obstacles, face great danger, look evil in the eye, and live to tell the tale. But that's not the end. As long as you're breathing, your story is still going. Nightmares haunt the dreams of Dervish Grady since his return from the Demonata universe, but Grubbs takes care of his uncle as they both try to continue a normal, demon-free existence. When a legendary cult director calls in Dervish as a consultant for a new horror movie, it seems a perfect excuse for a break from routine and a chance for some fun. But being on set of a town called Slawter stirs up more than memories for Grubbs and his friend Bill E. I think this could be interesting. I'm intrigued to get into it. It's a bit of a shorter one than the others. The audiobooks that I've been listening to for these, this one's like an hour shorter than the rest, so yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm excited to get into it. I don't remember anything about this one. It literally rings no bells, whereas like the other ones, even if I don't remember a lot about them, I've normally got a few pieces, but this one, no clue. So I feel like I'm going in quite blind, and we should hopefully have a good time. So yeah, I'll check in as and when. Okay, so I've only got 1 chapter into this tonight, and I'm going to go to bed now. But the opening chapter, like the first chapter we've got, has been really good. It's kind of reintroduced us very quickly to Grubbs and Dervish. It's very like simply like told us what's going on, and it's kind of given us a massive info dump, but done it in a way that like hasn't felt super info dumpy, but I really feel up to date. I know what's going on. We're picking up 4 months after the last book ends. Dervish isn't coping very well. One therapist who knew about demons kicked him out basically because he was too weird. So that's obviously not good. He's having nightmares, and Grubbs is trying to deal with that and figure it out. That's all we've really got. Like, it has just been a very simple introduction, but the way in which it's done the first chapter has been really good. So yeah, really happy with this one, and yeah, we'll definitely continue on shortly. Okay, so I am 90 pages into this, you know, about a third roughly. I'm not enjoying it as much as the others. Don't get me wrong, the first 2 haven't scared me. Like, I haven't like actually been scared, but the tone of them and the way in which they have like been written, and the characters, and just like the suspensefulness of them has been like a scare vibe is the best way I can think of saying it. I could see that if I was younger, what I was reading could put me on edge. This one hasn't done that yet. and I'm like this far in. We've had a few chapters. We've basically gone from Dervish having nightmares, Grubs helping him through them, to a film producer wanting them to like go and help with a demon movie, because Dervish is like a demon, not a specialist, but like someone who knows a lot about them. Obviously we know that's because demons are real, but most people don't. So yeah, so basically he took Grubs and Billy with him because the lambs are still poking around. So they've been on set. They're all living in this town that's been like purchased, made up, so it's no longer abandoned. They called it Slawter, which is also the name of the book, which is also the name of the movie, which is also the name of the town. We're about to get to the first scene that has like a demon in it, but obviously like not a real demon. I assume at some point throughout this, real demons are gonna have to show up. I assume at some point something's gonna have to happen, but so far, I don't know, like, I'm not hating it by any means. Like, I still think the story's fine, but this is meant to be horror, and that's just not the category I'd put it in. Okay, so it's okay. I'm probably about 2/3 of the way through now. Demons are apparently in the town. We have seen them, like these demons in the movies are real demons. It's just not shocking. Everything has been pretty chill, pretty easy. I mean, I'm having a fun time. Like, it's a fun book. I don't have any complaints, but it's not horror. It's not scary. Nothing's really going on, and I'm 2/3 through, and the first thing of like real significance has happened, I guess, in the fact that Billy's been taken. But then Billy hasn't even been taken by a demon. He's been taken by the lambs. And the lambs are in the original town, so it feels like we've just spent the last 100-ish pages on this film set just to know that demons are trying to get through. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm still fine with it. I'm still having a fun time. I just really don't think that this one is living up to anywhere near as good as the first two. But yeah, I'm gonna keep reading. Like, it's fun. I'm definitely having fun. I'm enjoying, like, you know, like Grubs being back as a character. But yeah, it's just not as good as the first two. Okay, so I finished Slawter. It was alright. It wasn't bad. I've given it 2.5 stars overall. That's like what I decided on. I had a fun time. I had a good time. It wasn't scary really. Like, there was a bit of action, but for like the entire book, like the tense, suspenseful part maybe was 40 pages maybe total of the book, and it just didn't do it for me. It didn't have the same impact that the first couple of books have had. And then at the end as well, the way that Dervish acted didn't seem very like in line with his character and how we know him to be. So I just found that a bit weird at the very end as well, with how like he acted towards Grubs. So yeah, I don't know. It was alright, had a good time, still excited to keep going, just this wasn't a favourite. So up next is Beck. If I remember correctly, this one like still takes place in the same like world, universe kind of thing, but like takes place many years before, or maybe it's many years after. I don't know, I think it's before. Again, don't have a great memory of it. I don't remember any particular factors of it except for a cave, I think, but I don't know if I'm just remembering that because of the cover. I don't know, but yeah, I'm intrigued. Let's read the back of it. I'm almost through the door when something breathes behind me. Beck. I turn. I can't see anything, but I know I'm not alone. I want to call for help, but I can't. Then, in a blur, claws dart out from the darkness, a twisted face, fiery eyes, rows of teeth. The demon grabs me. As a baby, Beck fought for her life. As a trainee priestess, she fights to fit into a tribe that needs her skills but fears her powers. And when the demons come, the fight becomes a war. Beck's magic is weak and untrained until she meets the druid Drust. Under his leadership, Beck and a small band of warriors embark on a long journey through hostile lands to confront the Demonata at their source. But the final conflict demands a sacrifice, too horrific to contemplate. I'll give it a go. I'll see how it feels. Yeah, I don't want to judge too soon, but like reading the back of that, I'm not like, ooh, like super excited about it, but I could get sucked in there easily, so I guess we'll read and find out. Okay, hello. It's probably been 3 or 4 days since I last updated, saying I was going to start this book. I've now started it. Well, I did start it the first day and then just haven't been asked to pick it up. Basically, I'm 20 pages in, not enjoying it. It's set in what I assume is a different time period, just because of how they're explaining where they are and like the fact they're kind of like in like a fortress type area. I don't like any of the characters yet. I don't like what's going on, how any of them are acting or reacting to situations, and yeah, I'm assuming our main character Beck is gonna like start standing up for herself and just do what she wants, but I just can't be arsed with it. I'm gonna be honest, I just can't. I mean, I'm gonna keep reading. I want to get through these books. Like, I know I will really enjoy some of them, like books 1 and 2. Like, I had an amazing time and book 3 wasn't bad. I think what I'm gonna do is, I have found an audiobook just on YouTube. Someone's uploaded it because apparently you can't actually access them like properly anymore for some reason, and they also never recorded audiobooks for the final 2, I've found out, so really don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, basically I'm just gonna put it on my phone, put my headphones on and listen as I go to sleep, and just hope for the best and hope that something gets me and something makes me want to read more, because right now I don't. Okay, still reading this. I'm on page 51. On top of just like not vibing with it and not really like caring about any of the characters yet, I'm getting really fed up with this whole like, men are like this, women are like this, men can do this, women can't do this, men can do this, women can only do this, and it's just, it's quite concerning, to be honest. Like, this is book 4. This is a very well-known author that I have many more books of. Our main character does seem to be rebelling a little bit, but because she's a part of magic, not because what's happening is stupid. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I'm really not enjoying this one. I'm hoping, like, there's now basically a group of them who's left, and like we're just starting out with that. So I'm really hoping that now we're separated from like the main issues. I don't know if that's like the correct way to word it, but I'm too tired and can't be asked, to be quite honest. That it's going to get better, that maybe there'll actually be like a plot line and a story and something for me to enjoy. Right now I'm not enjoying it at all. Right now this is very easily the worst one. So yeah, I'm going to keep reading. I'll check in as and when. So basically I'm halfway through this book, and I can already tell you this is more than likely the origin story of how like Lord Loss's deal came about. Beck is a distant relative of like the Graders. I'm not interested in it. I'm not gonna lie, like, it's really not exciting, it's not doing anything, it's not scary, it's boring, and the things that are happening in it are just so like stupid. Like, I don't know why I'd want to read a book where women are continuously oppressed, but the main character, who is female, is treated slightly better, but because she has magic. And like, no one even sees a problem. I don't know. I don't want to get too much into it because I'm sure I'm reading into it too much. But it's just annoying the shit out of me. And the more it annoys the shit out of me, the further I'm reading into it. And this is, however, I've looked online. This is the only book that's like this timeline and like this far in the past. The rest of the books from this point on, like, follow on like narratively from where we left off in Slawter. So I think the rest of them will all be like continuous with like the same, I don't think necessarily the same characters, but like, you know, we're going to be back in a more easy to see world and something more like our own, I guess. Okay, so I did finish this book. I'll take my bookmark out there. I'm giving it 1.5 stars. It wasn't dreadful. I can definitely see a younger me enjoying it somewhat, but honestly, even younger, I can't see myself enjoying it loads. I just really didn't vibe with it. I didn't like the time period it was set in. I didn't like the rules and how there was no pushback against like very stupid rules. And a lot of it came together in this one just a little bit too conveniently. and none of it was scary. Everything was very predictable. And right at the end we had a big betrayal. It was meant to have shock factor, except for the character had been acting differently pretty much the entire book. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. It wasn't good, but I am, however, looking forward to picking up the next one, which is Blood Beast. From here on, they are all in chronological order, so I'm pretty sure we're going to have some more fun times, and yeah, I'm really intrigued by this one. So this one says, locked inside Dervish's study, breath coming quickly, raggedly, trembling wildly. I still feel sick and dizzy, but maybe that's fear. I force myself to breathe normally, evenly. When I'm in control, I study my reflection, looking for telltale signs. Am I turning into a werewolf? I don't know. Grubbs Grady has so far escaped the family curse, but when he begins to experience alarming symptoms at the onset of the full moon, he is scared that the jaws of fate are opening and about to swallow him whole. He has cheated death, defeated demons, moved on with his life, but Grubbs is torn between the world of magic and his wolfen genes. Can he fight the beast inside, or will he fall victim to his tainted blood? I don't remember this one at all. I don't remember how the story's going to go. I assume whether or not he is currently turning into a werewolf, it won't be a continuous thing. I assume we're going to have, you know, more Grubbs within the stories. But I'm still really intrigued to read it, and I still think it's going to be a good time, and I really like Grubbs as a main character. I think, you know, especially like living with Dervish, it's kind of like the better situation of all the characters that I've seen so far, and the one that I find the most easy to read and entertaining. So yeah, really excited, gonna give it a go now. Okay, so last night I made it to the chapter called Hard Work, which is on page 90. Again, nothing scary so far. I feel like the very end of the previous chapter before this is meant to be scary. Digging in the ground, there's shadows, there's a girl's face, and I would say the suspense was there, but it wasn't scary. But we're only a little bit of the way in, and like that's great to me. Like it's actually going to go somewhere. So yeah, it's been fun, it's been interesting, and overall I do like these characters. I definitely feel like the whole Grubbs has got magic and Dervish doesn't know is probably going to be dragged on for the entire book and like come out later on. But yeah, I'm really intrigued to figure out what's going on, how much is to do with this whole, how much is to do with Grubbs' werewolf side, how much is to do with Grubbs' magic side. And yeah, I'm having fun, and I'm really enjoying it so far, to be honest. It's nice, easy, quick reading. Okay, so I'm not quite halfway through, but I'm like almost there. I can see why the last book happened, how it's been brought into this one. They have now gone down into a cave. The previous night, Grubbs saw a face trying to get out of the cave that looked very similar to his sister, and then they're down there exploring. Now, I'm going to hazard a guess here that this is the cave that Becky's stuck in. Just hazarding a guess. So I see why the last book happened, but I still didn't like it. But I am really enjoying this one. It's so easy to read. I really don't like this new friend Locke that they're with and taking around, and that whole like dynamic is just very annoying. I didn't understand the whole like it's okay to be mean and bully people when I was a kid. I'm not going to understand it as an adult. So yeah, except for that though, it's really good. I am very intrigued as to why like Dervish is so out of the picture in this one, especially when he was really there in like the other books we've seen him in. He's always been quite approachable, I'd say, and in this one he's just very AWOL. He's like constantly off at other places. So yeah, I'm intrigued. I want to keep reading. I'm having fun. Okay, so I have 1 hour left of the audiobooks. The story isn't really progressing very fast. The only new mystery we've had is like, who is this person following Grubbs? I don't believe it's one of the lambs, which is what Grubbs is thinking. And honestly, I don't trust, I think her name's Junie. I don't think it's Judy. Maybe it is Judy. I don't know, I'm listening to the audio, so like I'm not 100% sure. But I just feel like something is up with her. She left very quickly after Slawter. Haven't heard from her since, and then she's shown up here, and I don't know, like things are just a little bit off. And I feel like something's going to be going on there, but I don't know exactly what. I'm thinking either like has trained with someone bad and like has nefarious intentions. somehow got involved with demons and has nefarious intentions, or everything's just like a red herring. Nothing really matters, she's just fine. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm probably going to finish this tonight, so I'll tell you my final thoughts in the morning. Okay, so I was not expecting the cliffhanger at the end of this. Basically, Grubbs has gone with Junie, and Junie summoned a load of demons. She is working for them. One of my 3 theories was correct, which is nice. But yeah, like, it ended on a cliffhanger, like the demons started attacking and it was like, to be continued. So I really need to get a start on this. This is Demon Apocalypse, which is a book 6. And I'm assuming it's going to pick up like literally as the previous book left off. I don't know for sure, but that is what I would assume. This is also my favourite cover of all of them. I don't know if it'll still work now, but I'm going to take it out with me today so it gets some sun. When I first got these books, like over 10 years ago, this glowed in the dark and it looked really fucking scary in the dark. So yeah, there's that. On the back of this one it says, "Fire, it's all around me, fierce, intense, out of control. I feel their hair on my arms singe and know I have only seconds before I burst into flames. Total panic. There's a horrible shrieking sound, piercing and destructive. My eardrums and eyeballs should burst. It's hell, I moan." Let's get reading and I will check in when I've read a few chapters. Okay, so I'm about a third of the way into this. I was really enjoying it. I was having fun with it. We were having a good time. However, about 2-3 chapters ago, again the chapters aren't numbered so I'm not sure exactly, but 2-3 chapters ago we basically so Grubbs was rescued by Barabbas. I think his name's Barabbas? Barnabas, that's his name. So he's rescued by Barnabas and also met Colonel, and essentially even though Grubbs doesn't want to fight demons, doesn't want to be a part of this, they've kind of made it seem like he has to, and I just don't like the direction it's taking right now. He has been to the Demonata once with them but got sent back, and yeah, like basically since he like reluctantly agreed to like train, I guess, like train, I don't know, they're not actually teaching him anything. I just really haven't liked the direction it's going. Definitely really enjoyed like the start of it, and enjoyed Grubbs like figuring out who Barnabas was and like learning about the world, and you know there were some fun bits in it, but yeah, it's just not staying fun currently. I don't know for definite. I have a feeling that, you know, like this was explored. So in the last book, Locke died in a cave that was a magical cave, and it's not been said, nothing's been, you know, properly said. I have a feeling at some point we're going to find out that Bill E pushed Locke and therefore it constitutes as murder, which means that that cave will actually be opening. So I don't know if this story is going to follow that or if this story is going to go back into the Demonata, and obviously I also don't know for definite if that is true. So yeah, that's just my thoughts and feelings of like where we're heading, but to say I'm further into this book, it's not really clear where we're heading yet, so yeah, I guess I'll find out. Okay, so I have 40 pages left to this. It is so ridiculously late and I'm really out of the energy, but I think I'm just going to go to bed and put my headphones on and listen to the last 40 pages. This has taken so many turns that I didn't expect. So many, and like I can't even remember when I last updated and said. I know at one point I was speculating as to like where the story was going to go and what path we're going to follow, because there's so many ways it could go. I'm not sure if that was my last check-in or if I've checked in since then. Essentially demons attacked 7 weeks ago, the world ended, but then they went back in time somehow. We still don't really know how because no one's taken time to like do that, because they went back in time to the night that it was all gonna happen again. And now they're fighting, and like so many other like smaller, like more like kind of important details have happened that I'm missing out of this update. But yeah, a lot's gone on. It's been really interesting. It's really gripped my attention. I just don't know why these really tiny books are taking me so long to read, honestly. But they are. But I'm enjoying it. Like this one to me is probably again a 3.5 star, which is a really decent rating. And yeah, I mean, depending on how it ends, it could be a 4 star, but probably 3.5. That's the highest I've given any of these books so far, and it's like on par with those books that I gave 3.5 already. So yeah. Okay, so I did finish this one last night. I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And in the end of this, a lot of things happened that I didn't expect, and it's kind of set up a lot of the future books, I feel. Like I don't know exactly what the next 4 books are going to be about, but we've already from just the end of this got 2 different plot points that we can follow. So I'd say the main surprising thing, because it is, you know, like a YA series, I think it's kind of younger YA is how it reads to me. We had quite a main character death. Like, not main character, but important character. Obviously this has been spoiler so far, but like, chill spoiler if you don't want like major facts, like I'm going to give them. But yeah, Bill E died right after finding out that Grubbs was actually his brother. So that happened, but then also Beck, the same Beck from book 4 I think it was, which is, you know, still currently my least favourite book, was stuck in the cave and the rock all that time and inhabited Bill E's dead body and took it over as her own. She has transformed the body, and as we left at the very end of the book, they're stopped the demons from coming through, but they now know there's some sort of like bigger, badder demon than Lord Loss who's like behind a lot of it. So we had Colonel, who is also now blind, so that's going to be like an interesting storyline to follow. I don't know if we do get any more books from his perspective, but I do think it'd be interesting, especially with a lot of his magical powers being linked to light. And then also Grubbs going with Barnabas, who we found out is actually also a character in Beck. Bran, mental. Did not see that one come in. Like, the way he'd acted around like Beck in the cave, there was something going on, you know, there was something there, he knew something, he had some information, but I didn't expect him to like be the same character, so that was shocking. But they've now gone back into the demon realms and they're gonna try and hunt down this demon. And then Beck has stayed with Dervish to learn about the new world and deal with grief. So that's kind of where we left off, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I gave it 3.5 stars. It was really good and I think it was a good addition to the story. Next up I have book 7 to read. I really like that it just says it on the back nice and clearly. It makes it so easy to find them. But yeah, book 7, I don't know what this is about or who we follow, so let's just read the back and find out. I'm a human sponge, I soak up memories, I feel like a thief, stealing secrets with an innocent touch. I don't like this gift, it's intrusive and sneaky. I think it's harmless, but I can't be sure. If knowledge is power, why do I feel so alone? The apocalypse came and the world burned, but it wasn't the end, and out of the destruction new life has emerged. Beck is back to face the Demonata. After centuries of imprisonment, she's more powerful than ever, but the demons no longer stand alone. Something else has crawled out the darkness with her. Lord Loss is no longer humanity's greatest threat. So I'm guessing we're following Beck. I'm hoping that it being in a more modern world, I like the character a bit more and get on with this one. Beck, the book that actually was the first book we followed her in, I really didn't like. Because of the other characters that I assume will be in this book, I do like and I do have interest in. I'm hoping it will be better, but yeah, we'll go into it with an open mind and see what we find. So, this is the first one where the audiobook online isn't a legit one. No copyrighted like real audiobook was ever made for 7, 8, 9 and 10. I tried the one audiobook that I could find and is available out there and it wasn't for me. It wasn't good. So I'm physically reading it, which is fine. Honestly, it'll probably take me a bit longer because I've just had the audiobooks on like really fast and just been zooming through them. But that's okay, like it should be fine, except we're back in Beck's headspace. I am roughly 2 chapters in. Again, they're not numbered, so I'm not sure exactly, but I think I've read about 2 chapters. And so far, it has just been very info dumpy, very just telling, not showing, and very... So it's not different to the other books. The other books, when they've started, you know, we've had a slight bit of recap when we've needed to be, like, prompted for things. There's been prompting to remember things that have happened in the past. But this one, it's all just been dumped at the start in a... This happened, then this happened, then this happened, and I did this, and this, and this, and then this happened, and this happened, and this happened. And I think we've just got to the end of that because, like, we're all caught up to date. But it's just, like, we didn't need that. We didn't. So, yeah, I'm, like, 29 pages in. I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna give it a good read. I'm just gonna try my best. So yes, There we go. Okay, I'm not loving this, I'm not gonna lie. I'm only about 78 pages in. I'm just really not loving it. I don't think I like Beck's perspective, and I don't think I like reading from her perspective, honestly. It can be quite annoying and quite moany, I guess is a good way to word it. I am seeing some character growth already. She's already growing and like learning more. I'm just not loving it, which is a shame, but we do now have the plot of the story going. It looks like, you know, there's Dervish, Beck and Mira in the house, and they're surrounded by werewolves and men with guns, and they don't know what's going on, but that's what's happening, and they're gonna have to try and figure out a way to get out of the mess. And I'm guessing there'll be some big baddie behind it, but I'm not really sure. So yeah, I'm gonna keep reading. I'll check in as and when. I'm probably just going to try and binge through it in one sitting and then like reward myself with a bar of chocolate or something. But I'll check in when I can. Hello. So I'm going to be honest, it's been quite a few days and I've hardly read. If we're being perfectly honest, I binge watched the entire first season of Wednesday in 3 days rather than reading during my free time. So yeah, that's basically it. I mean, you can probably tell by like the hair dye, like, oh my gosh, the amount of time this video has taken. But we are reaching the end. I have 100 pages after this, and I think a big reason why it's been so easy to put it down was like I really wasn't vibing with the start of it, and I just don't like Beck's narrative. However, I've got to a point which I think I'm literally 100 pages from the end. I don't know whereabouts that is. It's over halfway. And I've got to a point where kind of like the entire gang's back together again. It looks like we're actually gonna like get some cool stuff going on and get a bit of like movement in the story. So yeah, I am excited and intrigued, and I am hoping to finish this tonight because honestly I need to. Okay, so I finished this. I'm gonna give it 3 stars, I think. I was tempted by 2.5, but I think 3 is fair enough. We had a couple of good twists at the end. We had a couple of big deaths. Barnabas is dead, potentially, probably. We don't know what's happening with basically all of the characters. We literally only have Beck and Dervish that we know what's going on, and Dervish is probably going to die. So yeah, I think it ended good. I think this book was all set up and most of it was just annoying and silly. We're also in Beck's head the entire time, except for when she figured out what was going on. Suddenly we had to wait 70 pages, something like that, to be told what was going on. Even though we've been in the head the whole time and thinking everything, suddenly that didn't happen, which was annoying. Like, it wasn't like a suspenseful thing, it was just like a annoying thing. But yeah, finished it. I'm gonna give it 3 stars. I'm gonna pretty much straight away pick up Wolf Island. This is book 8, and I will very quickly read the back. So it says, we spot the werewolves as we skim the treetops. Mutated, vicious, hairy monstrosities. All fangs, claws and muscles. The beast within me tries to force its way to the surface, howling silently its wolf brethren. I've never rid myself of the wolf. As the mysterious shadow builds an army of demons, Grubbs and his team search desperately for answers, but when they follow up a new lead, it takes them to an old unexpected foe, the lambs. The curse of the Grady's has returned with a vengeance. Werewolves are on the loose, and they're hungry. I am definitely up for reading this. I'm definitely up for giving it a go. I definitely prefer Grubbs' perspective. I think he's like one of the better perspectives to follow. It's very easy and simple, and we get things given to us in like a more factual way. So yeah, I'm intrigued to read this and figure out where we go. Okay, so I've just got to page 42, which is the start of the chapter called Getting Started. Up until this point, it's literally been the exact occurrences that have happened in the previous book, but from Grubbs' perspective rather than Beck's perspective. Literally multiple pages seemed very much like copy, paste, Control F, and just like replaced I with Beck and Grubbs with I. Not amazing start, not an amazing, I don't know, feeling to start with either, I guess. But I'm going to keep reading. They have now just separated. Like, literally the start of that was Grubbs left to start figuring shit out. They came back to the hospital and had the big meet up as a group, which is what we got in the last book. Like, we saw that for a couple of chapters in the last book, so like we knew it was coming. But like I don't see any reason for this book to have needed to have repeated it, basically, is what I'm trying to say. The first few chapters, the first 42 pages have just repeated what we know from the last book. I'm going to start reading, figure out where we go from here. We are at the point where we've got Grubs, Mira and Shark. That's our group, that's our gang we're going to be following in this book, I assume. And yeah, they're going to figure out why Dervish, Beck and Sharmila were attacked. So I finished this. It's alright. Probably another 3-star. It's horror, and I definitely wouldn't say it was scary, but this one really upped the like gruesome gore factor. So yeah, really like that. We were in Grubbs's perspective for pretty much, well, no, we were in his perspective for the entire book. And obviously Grubbs has had this werewolf side that he's kept controlled, and at a certain point in this he like basically just has to use it to fight. And it really went into the head of the werewolf. It definitely wasn't human. Really enjoyed, really had a good time with it. And it's difficult because like the first half, maybe a bit more than half, meh. But like it really did end good, and the actual like fighting and the actual like main event of the book was really good, and I really enjoyed and really wanted to keep reading. Which is what, like, I can only give it 3 stars, because if it all would have been like that main event, then it probably would be like 4 stars easy, but it wasn't. So yeah, 3 stars. Yeah. Oh, and we find out that Dervish, Beck and the magician from the last book are okay. Like we see them right at the very end of this one. So yeah, I think we're all caught up now. I have a feeling that the next book is going to follow Colonel, if Colonel is still alive, but I assume he is because he's part of this all magical Kardash. So yeah, I honestly, like, I probably should tell you more about this. Like I think I only checked in at the very start of this one, but basically they just fought a load of werewolves, and now Grubbs has his own pack of werewolves that's going to help fight the demons. All you really need to know. Not a lot else happened, to be perfectly honest with you. So what I'm reading next is this one. This is Dark Calling, and this is book 9. So on the back it says, I know it's ridiculous, light can't whisper, but I swear I heard a voice calling to me. It sounded like static to begin with, but then it came into focus, a single word repeated over and over, softly, slyly, seductively, instantly. Come. The disciples are being manipulated by beings older than time. Only Colonel Flett knows that something is wrong, but he's in the grip of a creature who cares nothing for the fate of humanity. Voices are calling to him from the darkness, and he's powerless to resist. Colonel has already been to hell and back. Now he's about to go further. So I'm assuming we're going to start on the boat from 2 books previous where Colonel goes missing, and kind of figure out what he's been up to this time that we haven't seen him. And I assume, this is a big assumption, but obviously 2 books ago was Beck, 1 book ago Grubbs, this one Colonel. I'm guessing at the end of this one the 3 of them will be reunited, and in the final book it'll be like the 3 of them, but also the 3 of them as the Kardash will have to fight to eventually finish this thing off. But yeah, I'm going to start reading and I'll check in as and when. Okay, so on page 54 the chapter is called Tripping the Light Fantastic. 54, so a quarter of the way in, pretty much exactly a quarter of the way in. All we've done so far is recap what's happened in the previous 2 books. I'm bored. Like honestly I'm bored, I'm really not enjoying this. Look, I think the story's going to be interesting from now on, but a quarter of the book has been taken up by recap from a different perspective where like we've got a couple of extra sentences. I'm not impressed with it, to be honest. Like this happened in the last book and I forgave it, and like I think it is about 40 pages in the last book, but it's now up to 54 and I just can't be arsed with it, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to keep reading. I wanted this video to be out today. I've still got 150 pages of this and like the entire of the final book to read, so I don't know if it will get out today, but yeah, I guess I'll just keep reading and hope it gets considerably better, because I'm struggling. I am struggling through these. None of them have been amazing. I don't think any of them have got more than 3.5 stars, and most of them have been less than that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still of the opinion, as you know, I loved these when I was the correct age to read them. When I was like 12, 13 and I was reading these, I loved them. So I think if you were in that age, I still think they'd be fine and like decent. But obviously I didn't do star ratings then, so I don't know if I did love them or if I just, you know, enjoyed the book series overall. Like, have my standards got higher? Well, like, yeah, obviously they've got higher because the more you read, the more you can expect. But also, have my standards in terms of like what it takes for me to like even enjoy a book got like changed? I don't know. I don't know, but I'm not having a great time. Okay, so I'm like halfway through now. It's alright. It definitely picked up. We definitely had a lot of movement, a lot of things going on, and we had a few things explained, but again they felt very dragged out. It kind of felt like this didn't need to be a 10-book series. This could have been like an 8-book series and had this book and the last 2 books combined. But like, I don't know if the author just never writes in multiple POV or wasn't a thing that he wanted to do. I don't know. But honestly, these last 3 books have felt quite dragged out, and this one I'm really feeling it. We've basically just learnt that the world used to work like a chessboard, with demons living in white and these like old creatures living in the black. The Kardash separated them. The Kardash broke up and created 2 planets. The old creatures still lived in what was left of the Kardash's body. The demons had a planet, and new life was created on the planet, which is like essentially Earth, and that was humans. That's what we've learned. I'm halfway through. I know, like, it hasn't been bad, I'm just bored. Which, like, you shouldn't be bored. So yeah, Colonel rejected the old creatures like thing and said like he'll return to them if you can't beat death. It feels like the entire book's been for nothing, honestly, because he's just going back to fight the exact same way they were fighting before. I can't think of any instances where like his opinion has differed or changed. The only thing we've really learned is that Lord Loss isn't even like one of the older demons. Like, there are ones that are much worse than him. Like, we have learnt a lot of stuff, but nothing related to the problem going on, really. Yeah, kind of feels like I've been reading for nothing. I still have a while to go on page 142, and he's just got like back to earth after saying no. So he's still got 80 pages ish. Bit less than 80, I think. About 75, 70 pages, something like that. We'll see where it goes. He's got back to earth, it's in the middle of a battle, and he's already spotted Beck and Grubbs. I just feel like I've wasted quite a lot of time, to be honest. Like, you can see how far the way through my bookmark is. There's not that much left to go. It kind of feels like it's all for nothing, but let's keep reading. I finished this. It's ridiculous today. It's almost midnight. Don't know how I'm going to finish the other one today, as I have 25 minutes to do so and I haven't started it yet. But yeah, I finished this. I'm going to give it 3 stars. It was fine. It was alright. It wasn't anything special, and honestly I didn't really enjoy it. They basically delayed everything that's happened. They've all got separated and Grubb has turned on Colonel. I don't know. I just... like, I've had fun with certain parts of it. The last 50-ish pages were decent. Like, I had a good time. They were alright. But so much of it dragged and so much of it really wasn't decent. I'm struggling to rate them. They're 3 stars, right in the middle. It was fine. There were good parts that I really enjoyed, but there were bad parts that I really didn't enjoy and felt like I was wasting my time. So yeah, the final book is Hell's Heroes, and then like the little tagline on this one is "This is the end." The girl gazes up at me. She's even younger than I thought, clutching a small teddy bear in one hand. "Are you the bogeyman?" she whispers, eyes round. "Yes," I croak, then take her out of her hand with my huge, scarred, blood-soaked hands and crush. Barnabas and Dervish are gone. Beck has formed an unholy alliance with Lord Loss. Colonel is blind, held on earth against his will. Grubbs is mad with grief and spinning out of control. The demons are crossing, the disciples are falling, the shadow is waiting. Welcome to the end. I'm hoping we're going to have all 3 perspectives and it's going to move quite quickly. It's like the same size as the other books, and like I'm thinking a lot's got to happen in this. I'm thinking that hopefully shouldn't be like 50 pages at the start taken off by what's happened in the last few books, but you never know. Let's just get into it and give it a try. It's the next day now. I'm currently on page 73 and I'm bored. I'm bored. Like, not a lot is going on. Like, we keep seeing like more adventure scenes, but they don't mean anything to the story, and it's like, okay, we've figured out that Grubs and his werewolves can fight now. Like, we get that. Colonel's blind because Grubs blinded him. They've basically turned Grubs into a completely different character to fit the narrative they want now. I've just got to a point where Shark's returning, so I'm hoping that might give him a bit more like humanity maybe, but I really don't know. And also it's all been from Grubs' perspective so far. We haven't had anything from Colonel or Beck. We have seen a little bit of Beck for a dream, and like Colonel's been there for parts of it, but he can't join in because he's blind. He's there, he's, you know, with the assistance of, is it Krillin? I can't remember. With the assistance of the magician character from a couple of books back, he is like, he's getting around and he's doing stuff, but like he can't see the lights. To my knowledge, he hasn't figured out a way to do the lights without being able to see them. Even though I'm pretty sure before he said like he could sense lights. I don't know. I guess sight is one of his senses, but yeah, I am just really not sure about this book. Right now I just feel very disappointed by it. This is the final book, everything should be taking part. They're just wandering about, but like not even in a good or a fun way. None of the characters seem themselves. They all seem like they've changed a lot, but not in a way that you'd think be natural, like more in a, they've changed to suit the story. Yeah, I don't know. I finished this literally like 10 seconds ago. Quick check-in now to say it was an extremely disappointing and shit ending. I'll check in properly when I can like conduct thoughts and feelings. Okay, so our thoughts. I'm gonna give this 2 stars. It's made me feel like I've read the whole series for nothing. The way it's ended is everything went shit, everyone was destroyed, everyone died, but it's okay because we can remake it all and it'll all be the exact same in about 1 billion years because we're going to make it step by step exactly as it was. And it's just like, what is the point of this entire series? Yeah, I think I like repressed this one in my mind, honestly, because I didn't remember a single thing in this one. And I honestly think that's because it's so dreadful and puts such a negative light on the rest of the books. It's like, okay, like this isn't a bad story. If the entire content took place in this story, like you'd only committed this one book to it, but this is book 10. This is book 10. Oh yeah, I feel like I've just wasted a lot of time basically. I don't care. It wasn't interesting enough to keep me like wanting to read more and guessing. Yeah, not impressed, didn't enjoy it, and honestly don't really have a lot else to add. So yeah, these are the books that I read for the video. I don't even remember my star ratings, to be honest. I'm glad I've reread it because I feel like my idea of what the series was and what it is quite different. And I definitely feel like I know better people who would actually enjoy this and people who wouldn't know. I definitely don't think it's a series that you can read and like 100% truly enjoy as an adult. There's just too much shit that's stupid in it, to be perfectly honest. And I would say the last book was very disappointing, so like it kind of feels like if you set someone up to start enjoying it by the last book, they're not going to. So I don't know. I'm very confused about this one. I have a lot of mixed feelings. I'm sure they'll figure themselves out at some point, but for right now, that's kind of just it. That's what we're leaving off with. I read the Demonata series by Darren Shan, all 10 books. All of them range between 3.5 and 1.5 stars, I think. There were some good ones, there were some ones that were really good, really enjoyed. There were some not so good ones, and yeah, that's that. I do hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry it ended on such a downer, but if you did like it, please do give it a like. Subscribe down below to see more like this, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye!